Morning again. Thank you for coming to Story Starters for younger kids. These are books geared toward children ages roughly 4 to 8. Some of the books I read are for early and emergent readers, and some of the books I read will be for an adult to read to them. So on the emergent readers, you might have a newly reading child and they need some good stories. They get kind of tired of fat cat sat on hat. So there will be some books that they can pick up. There will be early chapter books and they can read themselves or maybe with a little bit of help from a grown-up. But other book times I will read books that will be great as a read aloud for children as young as 4 or 3 if they want to listen, or however young they want to go if they want to sit and listen. Up to roughly 8. These will be higher reading level, but definitely appropriate to the age group. So today I will be reading one of those types that this would be too high of a reading level of a young reader, but they are fun stories. There's a whole series of books about Hank the Cowdog and all the mischief he gets into. So this is the first book in the series, just called Hank the Cowdog, The Original Adventures of Hank the Cowdog by John Erickson. So sit back and listen. If you wish to bring out some coloring books or paper or Legos, just come on in, sit down. I'm reading the book Hank the Cowdog. This is a series of books. It looks like, have you seen it before? It's a series of books, and this is the first one, but they are a lot of fun. So here we go. Hank the Cowdog, Chapter 1. As I've said before, with these chapter books, there's not a lot of pictures, but I will show them to you when they show up. Chapter 1, Bloody Murder. It's me again, Hank the Cowdog. I just got some terrible news. There's been a murder on the ranch. I know I shouldn't blame myself. I mean, a dog is only a dog. He can't be everywhere at once. But when I took this job as head of ranch security, I knew that I was only flesh and blood, 4 legs, a tail, a couple of ears, a pretty nice kind of nose that the women really go for, 2 bushels of hair, and another half bushel of Mexican sandburrs. You add that all up and you don't get Superman, just me. Good old easygoing Hank, who works hard, tries to do his job, and gets very little cooperation from anyone else around here. I'm not complaining. I knew this wouldn't be an easy job. It took a special kind of dog, strong, fearless, dedicated, and above all, smart. Obviously, Drover didn't fit. The job fell on my shoulders. It was my destiny. I couldn't escape the broom of history that swept through. Anyway, I took the job. Head of Ranch Security. Gee, I was proud of that title. Just the sound of it made my tail wag. But now this, a murder, right under my nose. I know I shouldn't blame myself, but I do. I got the report this morning around dawn. I had been up most of the night patrolling the northern perimeter of ranch headquarters. I had heard some coyotes yapping up there, and I went up to check it out. I told Drover where I was going, and he came up lame all of a sudden, and he said he needed to rest his leg. So I went alone. Didn't find anything. The coyotes stayed out in the pasture. I figured there were 2, maybe 3 of them. They yapped for a couple of hours, making fun of me, calling me ugly names, and daring me to come out and fight. Well, you know me. I'm no dummy. There's a thin line between heroism and stupidity, and I tried to stay on the south side of it. I didn't go out and fight, but I answered them bark for bark, yap for yap, name for name. The coyote hasn't been built who can out-yap Hank the Cowdog. A little before dawn, Loper, one of the cowboys on this outfit, stuck his head out the door and bellowed, "Shut up that yapping, you idiot." I guess he thought there was only one coyote out there. They kept it up and I gave it back to them. Next time Loper came to the door, he was armed. He fired a gun into the air and squalled something about how a man couldn't sleep around here with all the dang noise. I agreed. Would you believe it? Them coyotes yipped louder than ever, and I had no choice but to give it back to them. Loper came back out on the porch and fired another shot. This one came so close to me that I heard the hum. Loper must have lost his bearings or something, so I barked louder than ever to give him my position, and to let him know that I was out there protecting the ranch. The next bullet just darn near got me. I felt the wind of it as it went past. That was enough for me. I shut her down for the night. If Loper couldn't aim any better than that, he was liable to hurt somebody. I laid low for a while, hiding in the shelter belt, until I was sure the artillery had gone back to bed. Then I went down for a roll in the sewer, got cleaned up, washed myself real good, came out feeling refreshed and ready to catch up on my sleep. I trotted down to the gas tanks and found Drover curled up in my favorite spot. I growled him off my gunny sack. "Beat it, son. Make way for the night patrol." He didn't want to move, so I went to sterner measures. I put some fangs on him. That moved him out, and he didn't show no signs of lameness either. I have an idea that where Drover is lamest is between his ears. I did my usual bedtime ritual of walking in a tight circle around my bed until I found just exactly the spot I wanted. And then I flopped down. Ooh, that felt good. I wiggled around and finally came to rest with all four paws sticking up in the air. I closed my eyes and had some wonderful twitching dreams don't exactly recall the subject matter, but most likely they were about Beulah, the neighbor's collie. I dream about her a lot. What a woman. Makes my old heart pound just to think about her. Beautiful brown and white hair, big eyes, a nose that tapers down to a point, and nice ears that flap when she runs. The only trouble is that she's crazy about a big spotted bird dog. Without a doubt, the ugliest, dumbest, worthlessest cur I ever met. What could be uglier than a spotted, short-haired dog with a long, skinny tail? And what could be dumber or more worthless than a dog that goes around chasing birds? They call him Plato. I don't know why, except maybe because his eyes look like plates half the time. Empty plates. He don't know a cow from a sow. But do you think that makes him humble? No, sir. He thinks that bird chasing is hot stuff. What really hurts, though, is that Beulah seems to agree. I don't understand that woman, but I dream a lot about her anyway. Anyway, where was I? Under the gas tanks, catching up on my sleep. All at once, Drover was right there beside me, jumping up and down and giving off that high-pitched squeal of his that kind of bores into my eardrums. You can't ignore him when he does that. Well, I throwed open one eye, kept the other one shut so that I could get some halfway sleep. Will you please shut up? Hank! Oh, Hank! It's just terrible. You wouldn't believe. Hurry, wake up. I seen his tracks down the creek. Get out before he escapes. I threw open the other eye, pushed myself up, and went nose to nose with the noisemaker. Quit hopping around. Quit making all that racket. Hold still and tell me your business. Okay, Hank. All right. I'll try. He tried and was none too successful, but he did get the message across. Oh, Hank, there's been a killing right here on the ranch, and we slept through it. Huh? I was coming awake by then, and the word killing sent a jolt clean out to the end of my tail. Who's been killed? They hit the chicken house, Hank. I don't know how they got in, but they did. They busted in there and killed one of those big hens. Killed her dead, Hank, and oh, so much blood. Well, that settled it. I had no choice but to go back on duty. A lot of dogs would have just turned over and gone back to sleep, but I take this stuff pretty serious. We trotted up to the chicken house, and Drover kept jumping up and down and talking. I found some tracks down by the creek. I'm sure they belong to the killer, Hank. I'm just sure they do. What kind of tracks? Coyote. We reached the chicken house, and sure enough, there was the hen lying on the ground, and she was still dead. I walked around the body, sniffing it good and checking through the signs. I noticed the position of the body and memorized every detail. The hen was lying on her left side, pointing toward the northeast, with one foot out and the other one curled up under her wing. Her mouth was open, and it appeared that she had lost some of her tail feathers. Uh-oh. Uh-huh. I'm beginning to see the pattern. What? Tell me, Hank. Who done it? Not yet. Where'd you see them tracks? There weren't any tracks around the corpse. Ground was too hard. Drover took off at a run, and I followed him down into the brush along the creek. He stopped and pointed to some fresh tracks in the mud. There they are, Hank, just where I found them. Are you proud of me? I pushed him aside and studied the signs. Looked it over real careful, sniffed, and gave it the full treatment. Then I raised up. Okay, I've got it now. It's all clear. Them's coon tracks, son, not coyote. I can tell them from the scent. Coons must have attacked while I was out on patrol. They're sneaky. You've got to watch them every minute. Drover squinted at the tracks. Are you sure those are coon tracks? They sure look like coyote tracks to me. You don't go by the look, son. You go by the smell. This nose of mine don't lie. If it says coon, you better believe there's a coon at the end of them tracks. And I'm fixing to clean house on them. Stay behind me and don't get hurt. I threaded my way through the creek willows, over the sand, through the water. I never lost the scent. In the heat of a chase, all my senses come alive and point like a blazing arrow toward the enemy. In a way, I felt sorry for that raccoon, even though he'd committed a crime in becoming my mortal enemy. With me on his trail, that little guy just didn't have a chance. One of the disadvantages of being as big and deadly as I am is that you sometimes find yourself in sympathy with the other guy. But part of being head of ranch security is learning to ignore that kind of emotion. I mean, to hold down this job, you have to be cold and hard. The scent was getting stronger all the time, and it didn't smell exactly like any coon I'd come across before. All at once, I saw him. I stopped dead still, and Drover, the little dummy, ran right into me and almost had a heart attack. I guess he thought I was a giant raccoon or something. It's hard to say what he thinks. That coon was hiding in some bushes about 5 feet in front of me. I could hear him chewing on something, and that smell was real strong. What's that? Drover whispered, sniffing the air. Coon, what do you think? I glanced back at him. He was shaking with fear. You ready for some combat experience? Yes, he squeaked. All right, here's the plan. I'll jump him and try to get him behind the neck. You come in the second wave and take what you can. If you run away like you did last time, I'll sweep the corral with you and give you a whooping you won't forget. All right, let's move out. I crouched down and crept forward, every muscle in my highly conditioned body tight and ready for action. 5 feet, 4 feet, 3 feet, 2. I sprang through the air and hit right in the middle of the biggest porcupine I ever saw. That's all I will read today, just the first chapter. But if you're not sure what a raccoon is and what a porcupine is, you should go take a chance to go look at a picture of them, because raccoons have kind of smooth, soft fur, and porcupines have these spiky things sticking out. So when Hank jumped on him, you can guess what happens next. Quills, just part of the job, chapter 2. Thank you so much for coming today and listening to this story. And I hope you enjoyed it enough that you want to go check out and have your mama or your papa read Hank the Cow Dog. He gets into a lot of crazy trouble because he's not as smart as he thinks he is. Thanks for coming, my friends. See you next time.